She did not leave her village because she was careless. She left because she believed in something bigger than her circumstances. Akinyi was the girl everyone spoke about with pride, the brightest in her class, the one teachers said would become someone important. In her small village in western Kenya, her name carried hope. Her mother carried even more. Every sacrifice and every prayer were tied to Akinyi's future. When she boarded the bus to Nairobi, her mother held her hands and said, "Do not forget who you are." Akinyi smiled confidently. She did not know that survival would try to rewrite her identity. The city was louder and colder than she imagined. Nobody cared about her grades. Doors stayed closed. Rent was due. Her first job as a house help felt like a temporary bridge, but it quickly became humiliation. She worked long hours, ate little, and endured constant criticism. Then the man of the house began watching her too closely. When she resisted his behavior, she was blamed instead. Accused, shamed, dismissed without pay. That night she sat alone, hungry and confused. Hunger silences pride. Desperation whispers dangerous solutions. When someone offered her quick money to just survive, she hesitated, then accepted. It was never her dream. She told herself it was temporary, but shame is heavy. It bends your confidence and steals your voice. She stopped calling home. She avoided mirrors. She no longer felt like the girl who left the village with hope. Then she met Brian. He listened. He spoke gently. He said she deserved better. When you have been starved of kindness, even basic respect feels like love. He helped her leave the streets and rented her a small place. She felt rescued. She mistook rescue for love. At first, he was soft and attentive. Slowly, that softness turned into control. He checked her phone, questioned her past, isolated her from others. He reminded her that without him, she would have nothing. The first time he hit her, he apologized with tears. She forgave him. The second time, he blamed her. She believed him. The third time, she stopped defending herself. When she discovered she was pregnant, a fragile hope grew inside her. Maybe this would change him. Maybe love would soften his anger. It didn't. One night, his violence went too far. She remembers fear more than pain. She remembers hospital lights. She remembers being told the pregnancy could not be saved. She lost the child. And when she needed him most, he disappeared. No explanation, no apology, just silence. The loneliness that followed was heavier than anything she had known. She blamed herself for trusting him, for leaving home, for every choice she had made. Depression wrapped around her like fog. For days she barely moved. But beneath the shame, something refused to die, a quiet refusal to disappear. Calling her mother was the hardest thing she had ever done. She expected anger. Instead, she heard compassion. "Come home," her mother said. Returning to the village felt like facing judgment. People whispered, but her mother's embrace reminded her she was still someone's daughter before she was anyone's mistake. Healing was slow. Nights were restless. Loud voices made her anxious. Trust felt dangerous. She joined a small tailoring program simply to stay busy. At first, her hands trembled at the sewing machine. Gradually, she found rhythm. Stitch by stitch, she began rebuilding something tangible. Creating clothes gave her control she had lost. She also joined a women's support group where she learned about manipulation and abusive cycles. For the first time, she understood that what happened to her was not weakness. It was control and emotional abuse. Understanding loosened the shame. She began saving small amounts of money. She practiced saying no. She forgave herself for surviving the only way she knew how. Years later, she opened a modest tailoring shop in the market. The sign carried her name. The first morning
This is
she
my
unlocked the
shop.
door alone, she felt
Akinyi's
something
shop.
steady rise in her chest. Not pride from perfection, pride from survival. She began mentoring young girls preparing to move to the city. She warned them about false rescue and disguised control. She taught them to build skills, to protect their independence, to understand that love should never feel like fear. The city broke her. Love nearly destroyed her, but it did not finish her. The brightest girl in the village was never gone. She had been buried beneath pain and shame, waiting for the moment she would choose herself again. And this time, she rebuilt not for approval, not for a man, not for validation. She rebuilt for peace.